Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Janae.
I'm Jay Trent.
and
I'm
today,
Terrika.
oh,
I forgot. I thought I had to get in on that. Okay,
and,
No,
never
and
you're
that
mind.
and this is why this is informal because it's okay. Uh,
Okay.
Today we'll be talking about the Connecticut Sun with two special guests, Reba and WNBA analyst Terrika. Uh, and would you like to, go ahead and introduce yourselves, go over like what y'all do, things of that nature?
Yeah, I'm Reba. I'm just a regular WNBA fan. And if you listen to this podcast and it sounds like I don't like the Connecticut Sun, you might be right because I'm a Dewana fan, not a Connecticut Sun fan. So I'm gonna let y'all know that now.
That's cool. We don't need that. We don't need that. No, I'm joking. What's going on, y'all? I'm Terrika Foster-Brasby, WNBA analyst, and I am the sideline reporter for the Connecticut Sun. So I kind of watch the team, follow this team all the time, and I embrace all Connecticut Sun haters. So it's gonna be fun to have a chat with Reba today.
Well, first, as we know, the expansion draft is here. Um, Reba, this may be harder for you because you obviously
Um,
are a DB fan more than a Connecticut Sun fan. Uh, who would
you
you
know what?
all
I
keep?
like them.
why
Uh,
are you jumping to this? We didn't say how the season went, like nothing.
oh, excuse me. See, you're right. Actually, I'm not used to having two people here. This is new. Um, would you like all to describe how the Connecticut Sun season went? What things that you like, things that
Uh,
you didn't like?
I think our season went the same as it went the last 5 years. Um, just a great season, no championship. Unfortunately for like Connecticut, they're at a point where it's championship or bust. Because they've gotten so close so many times. They've had great teams, 6 7 years running. So for Connecticut, it's championship or bust. So yeah, yeah, it went how it went the last 5 years.
I would say overall, the season ended in disappointing fashion. I mean, when you start the season 10 games, 10 games with no loss, when you have an Olympian and several All-Stars, you know that your window is closing because your players are aging. You know that you really only have one goal, and that's to win a championship. And not accomplishing that, no matter how well they played throughout the season, just really doesn't matter. Like the goal is to win a championship, and they didn't do that. So they would say that they had a disappointing season. Fans would say that while they enjoyed the season, it ultimately ended in disappointing fashion. I think there was some improvements from last year to this year, but ultimately, the Connecticut Sun is probably going to look a lot different than what we've been used to seeing, just based off of all of the people that are free agents now, the expansion draft that's upcoming, and there's no coach. And there's no coach.
Yeah,
I
I yeah, I oh, I think
I
somebody's
feel
mic is
like
echoing.
oh
I think somebody's mic is echoing. Is it? I don't. Is it? It's still doing it. Am I the only one who can hear that? It's still doing it.
No, I
no,
hear it too. Okay, go ahead.
for the last couple of episodes, we've been talking about how like Connecticut's probably gonna blow it up. And I'm kind of heartbroken by that because I feel like with Marina, they just got like one step closer. And I feel like there were some things that I would have liked to see Steph do to kind of um, improve the offense. Like I know that a lot of time they relied on Dewana and she just kind of had some inconsistencies through the playoffs. But I don't know. I feel like with the Marina trade, it just felt like okay, like they have that one, they're like right there. And I was really hoping that they would have kind of kept it together despite having all the free agents. But then when Steph left, I was kind of like, well, I don't think I don't think this is gonna go. Want to go? I don't think this is gonna go. Want to go?
I honestly don't think it would have looked the same if she stayed.
You think they would have left too anyway?
Yeah, I think they would have left anyway. Like I said, AT's looking for a championship. I don't think she feels she can get it in Connecticut at this point. So I could see her leaving. And honestly, I could see Breezy staying. I could see Breonna Jones staying. Of course, with the expansion draft and all that stuff, we don't have much to give up. I think we only have like 6 players, available right now through next season. So like I'm not really scared about them blowing it up. Because AT, she gave us her all. DB gave us her all. If they want to go elsewhere and get a chip, I mean, why not? It's not like no hard feelings. You gave us what you had. We just couldn't finish it. And I think it's time.
Well, I guess before we even get into expansion, if Alyssa and DB leave, where would you like to see them go? I know my personal
anywhere but Phoenix.
See, it's funny
That's
because like
interesting that you say that because that's the one place I see her going.
it's funny
I
because
think
like
so too.
every episode we've talked about them going.
Basketball wise, they'll work. They'll fit great, with what Phoenix has going on over there. But I just don't like anything that has to do with the state of Arizona.
I've been saying the same thing, Reba. I'm really scared that Diana Taurasi and DB are like, let's run it back. Like they said that during that 2014 thing, and I was like, I feel like this is a joke. Like I feel like this is a joke.
I've been seeing I've been seeing the post of like Tosh Cloud and Kalia Copper. They've been doing they've been making them posts like, hey, look, free agents, if y'all come, this is what y'all gonna get. And it just seems like it feels like it's just trending toward them making that pitch to say, look, we could put this team together, it'll be one season and we can go out here and we can compete for a championship. So and Phoenix is going to try to accommodate them the best way they can. It does feel like it's trending in that direction.
It does. I'm not gonna lie, but
go ahead.
I was gonna say them going to Phoenix feels very storybook, but does Phoenix
See,
deserve
you keep
it?
saying
Absolutely
them.
not.
you keep saying them, and that's what I need to break up. Right?
Is DB going somewhere and Alyssa Thomas not?
It's very possible. Keep in mind that, and I think that is something that needs to be considered, that while they are a couple and while they got together because they played together here in Connecticut, that don't necessarily mean that picking up one means you have to pick up the other. And so I think about a place like Phoenix because I know that DB is getting older and she's going to be retiring soon, whether people want to accept that or not. DB, she's going to have a couple more years left in her. And I know that she wants to finish her career where she started in Phoenix. But I also think about Las Vegas. And I also think that Vegas is only a 45-minute flight from Phoenix. And I also think that Alyssa Thomas could be a very good 4 in Las Vegas because I feel like Kia Stokes is going to be a player that won't be protected from expansion. So to think that AT would not have an opportunity to play in Vegas while DB gets to play in Phoenix where she wants to be, and they're only 45 minutes away via a plane, which we are now chartering. That's a possibility, right? Now, I mean, the intricacies of, what that looks like from a monetary standpoint is one thing, because one free agent that we haven't talked enough about is Brittany Griner. She's a free agent in Phoenix. And I know she wants to play in Phoenix and stay in Phoenix, but it really ain't her decision, right? It's really up to management. So it's possible that they might not necessarily stay together. So I just think when you're thinking about where they could go, don't be so sold that wherever they go, they have to go as a unit, because it don't always have to work out like that.
That's a good point, because I feel like we've kind of, even up to this point, we have mentioned them as a package deal because we kind of felt like it was a foregone conclusion. But the thing about there being a reasonable flight between Vegas and Phoenix, that does kind of add up. That does kind of add up.
Well, if we're starting agendas, if that's the case, and we're starting agendas, then well, not starting. If we're talking about agendas, my agenda is still Alyssa to Dallas. Just specifically for the fact that, and we spoke about this on multiple episodes, but like I feel like when Alyssa has the ball in the, Alyssa is obviously top 3-4 players in the W, like very easily. But I feel like when Alyssa has the ball in her hands in the clutch, I feel like teams are not concerned, and that is where Arike comes in, and I think that just fits her perfectly, and that fits them. That duo could really work well together, but it's not very popular. But that's my, if they split up, that's where I would like her to go.
We need Dallas to get a coach first, but
a lot of teams still need those.
Connecticut being one. So,
did you want to say something, Reba?
Well, Terrika said AT to Vegas. I kind of want to switch it. I think DeWanna is a better fit for Vegas. And have AT go to Phoenix if they're going to split up. I like the chemistry I saw during the Olympics with AT and Kai. I kind of like it. I think anybody fits in with A'ja Wilson because it's A'ja Wilson. I don't know if I'm Vegas and I can get DeWanna, if I would pass up on it. Like, I know she's aging, but DeWanna's still DeWanna. And having her next to A'ja, they're probably going to bring somebody else in because, Vegas is a hot spot. So Vegas could do a slight rebuild because I do not think Kelsey Plum is coming back. They're going to get rid of some pieces on that bench. I would prefer DB in Vegas than Phoenix.
KP not coming back is kind of a hot take. I don't know. I mean, I understand the re-signing didn't happen yet, but that feels like, I don't know. That feels too early for them to break it up. It feels too early, too soon.
Championships. This is prime time to break it up. Like, what more can you do together?
I've been spreading out of that agenda out of pure frustration, but I've seen her in the playoffs too many times. But I also, I understand, like Janae said, it's a core that if they lose again, I can see them splitting up. But if they also split it up this year, it's some money on the table.
In some aspect, every team is gonna split up this year because we got an expansion draft, right? And you can only protect seeds. So there's no team in this league that's gonna look like it looked in 2024. Everybody's gonna have to lose something at some point, right? And I think even in that, being a free agent or unrestricted free agent or whatever, none of that matters as it relates to protection or not. Like, you can still be protected by a team as a free agent. So at the end of the day, I think that we probably have to just come to grips with the teams that we've looked at over the last few years being constructed a certain type of way, just not going to look like that. Like, that's just kind of is what it is. With that being said, I think it opens the door for teams to kind of get better in terms of really picking up the pieces that they want or that they need. And I also think it allows teams to let go of players that maybe they have some sentimental value or loyalty with, and make it hard for them to let those players go. But because the expansion draft, it really kind of gives you an out, right? So for sake of argument, if Vegas did want to part ways with KB, the expansion draft gives them an opportunity to do that, because they're not, I don't believe that she's going to be one of their protected picks. So there is an opportunity for her to go somewhere else. I just think if I'm any team, I'm going to protect the players that I either have a good chance of getting something from, because I don't want to lose players for nothing, right? Like, if you're going to bounce, at least let me get something out the deal. So that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. And I don't know what Vegas could get in return that they would benefit from KB. So I don't think that they protect her. So she might be leaving.
It's funny because, like, it's something that it's one of those things that's kind of obvious, but you never really think about. Like, even if this wasn't an expansion draft year, when Fee, after the finals, and they were talking to Fee, and she was like, like, I really enjoyed this group, and this will never be the same group again. Like, no matter the year, a team is never going to bring back all 12, 15 players on the roster ever again. So, like you said, teams are always going to look to add, shake things up. But now, especially since an expansion draft, it's like we got to figure out how this is about to work, or we got to figure out what we're going to do to add. I did jump ahead earlier, but if you were Connecticut, what 6 players would you protect?
I'm gonna let Reba go first.
I would 6 players I would protect. Honestly, right now, I'm only protecting Dejanay Carrington. I'm letting AT explore what she want to explore.
So hold on, Reba. Wait a minute. Hold on, cause wait a minute. No, only Dejanay? Reba.
Yes, because out of respect, if AT wants to leave, I'm not going to waste my time protecting her. We're going to have a conversation before all this stuff happens. I'm not wasting my time protecting her if she wants to leave. Same with DB. Same with Brianna Jones. I think they earn the right to leave if they want to leave. So I'm not protecting them if they are ready to leave or if they want to leave. Everybody else on the team, I'm not stunting really. I can afford to let him go. I don't want to keep who?
You got Ty Harris. You got Marina. Oh no. Are they not like good core pieces to have? You go rebuild?
Rebuild with something like better. Like they're not off the table for me. That's like, if you give me a good deal, I'll give up Ty Harris. If you give me a good deal, I'll give up Marina. If you give me a good deal, I'll give up Tiffany Mitchell. I'm not
just for clarification's sake, is there a rule that you have to protect 6 players?
No.
Oh, wait, y'all just said 2 different things.
Wait, I thought it was, I didn't think you had to protect 6, but I think the expansion team can only take 1. So you can only lose 1 player, regardless of. So let's say the whole roster unprotected, and if Golden State says, okay, well, we want Bree Jones to be our free agent pick, then everybody else they would still have negotiating rights technically.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
The only reason why I'm asking is because I'm thinking about the other episodes we done, and I know most people joked and they were like, yeah, I'm only protected 5 but I was assuming like there had to be a 6th, but knowing that they do not have to do that is very
well. I don't recall there being a rule that says you don't have to protect 6. So I need to know where that, because my understanding from my interpretation of it, every team can protect 6 players, and it doesn't matter your status as far as being an agent or free agent or not. So to say like, well, I know Alyssa Thomas is going to leave, sure, but do you want Alyssa Thomas to leave and go play for the Valkyries? Because the truth is, if Alyssa Thomas is eligible for the expansion draft, you'd be crazy to not pick her up to play for it. So it's not always about, what you're going to get back, or if anything at that, but it's also about a bit about strategy. And I think the one thing you are not going to do is, if you are a GM or anybody of any sort, you're not going to put your best players up for availability for another team to possibly take them and beat you at some point during the next season. So if there is a rule that exists, I don't know personally, but if there is one that says you can't protect six, I don't know a team that won't still protect six. You're not giving another team your best players. So if it's me, I'm protecting the obvious three, well, the obvious four, which is DB, AT, Dejanay, and Bree Jones. That's the obvious four. The other two, I'm thinking about long term, right? So I believe that Marina was only over here for a year. What do you see? And this is where not having a coach is going to bite them, because outside of those four that I mentioned, what else you do is going to be determined on what coaching scheme they want to run. What kind of coach are they looking for? A defensive first coach? Is it an offensive first going to be? Like, you don't know what this particular person is going to do because that person ain't there, right? And so I think that it's going to be important for them to figure out what their coach is going, or who their coach is going to be, so that they know who they want to protect with those other two spots. I think Ono makes sense in terms of just height. You can see the progression that she made over the last year. I think it's important to try to keep some form of continuity. So I think Ono makes sense. I don't know if Ty is someone that makes sense. And I love Ty, like absolutely love Ty, adore Ty. But I also think that there may be other systems that fit her better, right? And again, that depends on who's going to be coaching. So it's a little hard to kind of detail who you want to pick if you're Connecticut. But if it's Terrika, I'm picking that core four. I'm going to protect Ono, and I'm most likely going to protect Marina, because I think Marina may have some success in Connecticut if she stays. So that would be my six.
Okay. I see it. I definitely see it. Well then, if that's the case, who are you, knowing who's in free agency? If you're Connecticut, is this squad done? Like, is this like so what type of players
this squad is a wrap it up, throw it away.
What type of players are you looking for in free agency?
Throw it away. Well, I mean, dang, yo, like, again, it's so tough to decide that, because ain't no coach. Connecticut, get a damn coach, please. Like, I don't know. Like, it's who is gonna fit CT is really gonna determine who's gonna be leading it and what type of coach they are and what they're doing. So it's so hard to talk about or to know what they should be doing. Like, if this was the same team returning, you kind of think, well, they've got to get some shooters, right? Because that was the one thing that killed them. This team was good enough to make the finals. This team was good enough to win a championship, but they can't shoot nobody. And if you can't outshoot nobody, defense is only going to get you so far, which is why I always laugh when they be like, defense wins championships. Sure it does, but it wins championships if you know how to play offense too. Like, that's when it wins championships. You ain't winning if you can't outscore nobody, right? And so it's difficult. I love this Connecticut team, I really do, but that was their biggest issue. So if this coach that they brings in is an offensive minded coach and they're looking for speed, then that was the other thing. These players are older players, slow. Stephanie White, she really loves to run a fast paced offense, but you can only run so fast with Alyssa and DB. They're older. I mean, it's no shade. It's just that they're older. So you are only going to get so much speed out of them. Now that she's in Indy, she's got a younger group, a younger core. She's gonna be able to run and gun up and down the court all she wants to now. She just got to teach Caitlin how to play defense, but that's a whole different conversation. So with that being said, yeah, like I don't know who you want to bring in, but it's hard to get people to come here, y'all. I live in Connecticut. People think Connecticut boring. And I mean, where Mohegan Sun is, it's boring as hell out there. So I get it. Like, I get it.
You
I live with the black people. I live in Hartford.
hold on. You got to tell them a little bit more. You can't be. Look, I was telling them today, Connecticut has to have better PR. Okay, we can't be saying that it's boring
best
and the
PR.
kids having birthday parties. You can't be talking about that stuff. We gotta.
They have the best
That's
PR.
all they fault.
Oh my God. Connecticut actually has a wonderful PR staff. Love them, best in the business. But the truth is, don't nobody want to come here because they don't want to have to share their practice court with a birthday party. You're right. Nobody wants to live out in the boonies where like it's you and the trees in an apartment and that's it. I live 45 minutes away from Mohegan Sun. So yeah, it's stuff to do around here in Hartford in the capital, but out there in Uncasville, it is literally nothing out there. So it's hard to, it's hard to get people want to come here. So you're really going to have to be able to find somebody that's going to be your selling point to get folks to come out here. If you can get Bree to stay, I think people wanting to play with her is good, and that'll help you. If you can get the tribe to commit to upgrading the facilities, I think that will get people to come out here. But other than that, it's going to be, child, God bless you. Child, God
I think the tribe not willing to invest or not doing it fast enough is our biggest problem. Because I've seen on Twitter, players saying, I would love to go to, play for the Sun, but it's in Uncasville, or they don't have this, they don't have that. Like, and then Mohegan, not really, I don't know if they're willing to invest on it right now. I'm not sure what's happening with that. Because every time they ask, it's, a roundabout question like, oh, we're getting to it, or I don't see it in the future. Especially when they bring up selling the team to somebody in Boston, like they don't want to sell it either. So like something has to give at one point if we're gonna get, free agencies, like top level free agencies to come to Connecticut. I don't see it happening. I can see us building through the draft or making trades like we do now, but getting a top free agent to come here, no. I think the last one we got was Dewana, and we know why she came here.
Well, when she came too, she came in the bubble. So like they weren't even in Connecticut. Like she didn't even play her first season actually in Connecticut. They played her first season in Florida. So to your point, Reba, like, yeah, it's hard to get top level free agents to come out here because don't nobody want to be in Connecticut, right? But it's not impossible because from over these last 5 years, they've been one of the most consistent organizations. They've been a winning organization. So it's not like, you trying to get people to come out here and play with some scrubs. Like coming out here means you are most likely going to be playing in an organization that has a winning culture, but you got to add something else to it. And them facilities, I know they mean well, but
facilities is very big.
Facilities is huge. You got
if they
Phoenix out here with this multi-million-dollar. You got Vegas with this multi-million-dollar. Chicago building up some new stuff. What? Some new stuff. What? Seattle. What?
Oh yeah,
Seattle. Go play in Seattle.
Seattle's looks phenomenal. I think one of the things that we talk about is like we hope that in the new CBA, it's like a requirement of you have to, if you're a team, like you have to have such and such by a certain year or like whatever, like some type of penalty. I don't know. But because some of these teams are really getting away with not doing anything under the guise of like, yeah, we'll get to it eventually, and they just never do. But yeah,
people don't bring up Atlanta enough either. So Atlanta's kind of, they're lucky they're in the city of Atlanta because it's like if they weren't. You get the luxury of being in the city of Atlanta, and now I'm just feeling your organization's not doing much for you either. Mm-hmm. You work at 24-hour fitness too. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's and it's funny you say that because Don had said before that the dream play in a shoebox, and it's like because they play in College Park in the G League arena, and it's like this, and it's a small spot. Like they talk about how many games they sell out, but this arena should have more seats in it. You should be able to put that into your team because I mean, and this is a talented team. We were a playoff team last year. We were a playoff team this year. It was, not the result you expected, but there has to be more investment from ownership into the team. I know it's a new group. I know that they just purchased the team like 2 years ago, but yeah, Atlanta's gonna have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to step it up too.
It's funny because that you brought up them not having a coach, and I think last episode we talked about how like it's still like 5 teams that don't have a coach. Dallas doesn't have one. The Sparks don't have one. Connecticut doesn't have one. Um, Washington doesn't have a coach right now. Atlanta
Well,
just got one.
GM either. So that's crazy. An expansion draft coming up and no GM. I could see a coach. I could understand it. Do I like it? No, but no GM right before an expansion draft. Like who's making the decision?
Yeah, all Washington know
Shakira
right
Austin is making the draft selection.
all Washington know is that they sending Aaliyah Edwards to the draft lottery. That's all they know.
Oh yeah. What's crazy about that is that and I know we're not talking about this, but what's crazy is that if I'm Dallas is the team that's about to enjoy the hell out this draft lottery because they win regardless, right? Like, I know on the surface it looked like LA has the better odds, but truthfully, Dallas got better odds than LA. You know what I mean? So I know they're gonna have a good old time depending on where them or Chicago lands since they got, Chicago got to get them they pick. But I agree with y'all. It's wild to be this late and not have a head coach or a GM or, not even know what direction, because the lottery might be coming up, but you still got so many other decisions that need to be made between now and in the beginning of December, that to not have a coach at this point is pretty interesting. So, and we ain't even talked about Toronto and Portland, who I know it's going to be a year before they start working into the system, but they still need coaches, right? Like they still need GMs. So we can't forget about those two teams either.
Where is Nikki Blue?
I don't know. We've been looking for her for a year.
I keep trying to Google her and nothing's coming up.
It makes me sad. She really got replaced for no reason, and now like she's nowhere to be found.
To the conversation about coaching, who would you like to see in Connecticut? Atlanta just got Carl Smecko, which I think was an interesting pick for them, but I really appreciate that they it seems like they actually took seriously looking for somebody that might fit the mold of the players they already have. So who is there anybody at the top of your mind that you're like, I would like to see them in Connecticut, or I think they'd be a good draw for free agents?
I don't know about a good draw, but I would love to have Brandy Poole back. She was a assistant with Kurt. I would love to have her come back to Connecticut. I would like to promote Brianne January, first time head coach. Players already locked in, and this may be a way where we could keep a Breezy or we could keep a AT. Who knows? People might want to come play for Brianne January, a defensive specialist. I don't know. But those two, like, I want it to be a woman again. I honestly do. But the way it's looking, it's probably going to be a man. But I would love those two. Nikki Blue as well. I wouldn't sneeze at that either. I do want a woman though, but
Well,
we on the same page there because I think Brianne January would be a great head coach, and I know she's coaching in the G League right now, but like she just feels like the perfect fit. She played there, she coached there, she got the respect of the players, like you said. It just feels like that would be a shoe-in to promote.
Under
Honestly, I kind of thought that was what they were gonna do, and then I saw the friends going to G League, and I was like, no, maybe we should call her back. Like, don't let her go with them people. Maybe we should call her back.
the season to be over by then, by the time the WNBA season starts. So
Yeah, there's still time.
the hope is alive.
And honestly,
Yeah,
before you move on to the next topic, before you move on, I just want to say that the GM in Connecticut is really good, right? Darius Taylor is really good. He honestly should have been GM of the year this year, or at least I'm sorry, executive of the year this year, in my opinion, but we don't get to vote for that. But at the end of the day, I think as it relates to the decision making, without having a coach, like if there's one team that I at least trust to make some good decisions without a coach, I do trust Darius to make some good decisions. So they might be okay.
It's funny because like I think when we did our mid-season awards, I don't know if that was, I think that my personal pick for GM of the year was Seattle, because I mean you bring in Skylar Diggins and that could, you know, it is what it is. But
you said this is mid-season?
Yeah.
Okay, because it definitely would have been ended with the way Seattle went out.
Yeah, we
Okay,
got
Reba,
it.
not too much.
We
Not
got
too
it. We
much.
talked about
Not too
that.
much.
But like we did talk about Connecticut slightly, because like whether they succeed or not on the floor, those rosters are always built to win. It don't matter what goes on. And like the fact that you had an MVP player in Jonquel, and then Jonquel leaves, and then you're just as good the very next year, and then you're just as good the very next year. It's like they will forever have
One game better this year.
Yeah, they will always have a really good team. It did not matter who was on that floor. That GM will figure something out. I know getting Marina was slightly controversial. Like people didn't really understand where she was going to fit in that, but like that ended up fitting perfectly. So if they do decide, hey, let's run this experiment back one more time, I honestly would not be mad. I understand it would be frustrating as a fan, but I think as an outsider, I was like, all right, see, it's not. Do what you gotta do.
Frustrated as a fan. Like, honestly, it's always something each year. Like we have one key player that gets, injured at the worst time. And then this year, Marina, game 5, tweaks her ankle. She tries to come back in, but she can't play on it. I think if Marina was able to finish that game, we probably would have a different story. We were on our way to coming back. We went on a nice run. She just couldn't play on that ankle. If we could have had her the full game, I think we come back and beat Minnesota. I've seen us do stuff like that all the time. If we could have had Marina healthy that game, I think we come back and we go play New York in that finals.
I don't disagree with that, and that's why I don't think they should have blew it up. Just saying.
I didn't think they should, but AT and DB might not want to stay. Like as a fan, I would love for them to stay, but if they want to leave, I get it. I want them to stay, but if they want to leave, I get it.
All I'm saying is, word on the street is that house is up for sale. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Word on the street, they out, sis. But we gonna pray for a different end. We gonna pray for a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they don't get no bias. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the market go down or something. I don't know, but it ain't feeling good over here. It's a little hot. It's a little warm over here, y'all.
They just move it to a different neighborhood. It's just they just want to they just want to be a little closer to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to downsize. Under the assumption that they stay, what type of free agent or free agents would you want to bring in to support them?
Natasha Howard is the only answer. Not the only, but the first answer.
We did talk about that actually.
I feel like every team is gonna be calling about Natasha Howard.
I think
because
Oh, go ahead, Reba.
I think Natasha Howard ends up in Vegas.
I feel like she would want to do that, but I need her to not.
I didn't say
Vegas
it.
is getting greedy.
I didn't say it. Y'all be calling me greedy. I didn't say it.
It don't mean you're not greedy, but
Yeah, like
it does make sense though. It does.
Okay, so y'all not gonna like this because it might sound a little crazy, but I need y'all to just bear with me real quick, just real quick.
I can get down with stuff like this.
So the person that I think Connecticut needs to get is actually not even a free agent in the traditional sense of the word. She is a free agent. And she actually played with the team. But I think more than any, this team needs a point guard. And I don't understand why they not up on Odyssey Sims. All I'm saying.
It's not crazy.
I don't get it.
I like it.
Odyssey is a vet. This team has done well with veterans. She's a veteran point guard. And granted, although LA was already on their way out the door when she got there, you could see how much better they looked when they got her. You could see how Dallas played like a contender team when they had a true point guard leading like Odyssey. I don't know why she's on a hardship contract every year. Somebody needs to sign her. So I personally think if they got a true veteran, know how to lead a team point guard like an Odyssey Sims, Connecticut would be already half the battle fought personally. But that's probably not the most glamorous answer. But
listen, it's funny because because you were about to say something controversial and you were talking about a player who's played with them, I thought you were about to say Natasha Heidemann. And that was I was about to be like, whoa, don't know about that one. But we love Odyssey over here. So listen, that fits for me perfectly. We always talk about how Dallas does things the hard way all the time. I think when she signed back there in the middle of the season and they were like, yeah, we love Odyssey. She hung around the team until she got signed. Why would y'all just let her hang around the team? Just sign her for the rest of the season. Y'all could have just signed her from the start.
I think that's great, big because LT loved her. She would have made the squad if LT had her thing. But I think that was Greg Bibbs doing. They had to wait. Then they let her go. They let Monique Billings go too. I didn't like her fit in Phoenix, but I would have kept both somehow.
And look, they could have waived some people they won't using. I just really wanted. I didn't think Odyssey because I really just wanted Dallas to do the right thing. But like, you know what? Since they don't have Latricia anymore, I don't care what they do.
I don't either.
I don't know who they're gonna replace her with because I don't think their season was her fault.
I don't think
it wasn't. But the thing, it's like I know that after a season that bad, you feel like, oh, somebody has to go. But they had so many players miss so many games due to injury. Like it was like it felt like they were running a different lineup every night.
That sounds like you need to let go of the trainers. To me, that's what it sounds like. Need to go. We need new strength and conditioning coaches. Actually,
it's wild.
I mean,
what'd you say, Reba?
It was just their year to have a terrible injury-prone season. Satou's always hurt, so I don't really count her. But everybody else, the Jaylen Brown, I think, did Big Tiara, did she sit out a couple games? I think she tweaked something at one point. I think she missed one game or two. Like, I don't remember.
Natasha Howard was out for a stretch.
With a foot. Like, it was just a bad timing for injuries for them. But, like, I don't think it was LT's fault at all.
Where do we see how if you can't get Natasha Howard, how do you feel about Satou in Connecticut?
Absolutely.
That's nasty. Okay. I just wanted to ask a question. Immediate no. I just wanted to ask a question. Okay.
No, like, and it's not because it's not basketball like issues, like she won't fit or anything. I don't think Satou would be happy here. I think Satou wants to go to like a bigger market. So I could see her in a Chicago playing beside Angel Reese and all that good stuff. I could see her People are saying Indiana's like a hot spot right now. I could see that. I don't think she would want to come to Connecticut because of the stuff me and Terrika was saying. It's boring. It's this. Like she's kind of getting, endorsements. Her star is rising. She's probably want to be in a bigger market. I could see her in New York if JJ leaves.
Yeah, you know what, girl, Reba, I thought we was finna be beefing on this podcast, girl. We out here on the same thing because yes, the way that she was acting in New York with her sister won. I mean, I get it. I'm happy for my sister, but then I'm about to put on the shirt. I'm about to put on the hat. Like you about to
She
put
was
on
popping more champagne than Stewie. I said, "Did you play? Were you out there?"
She popped more. Well, I will say, to be fair, she popped more champagne than Stewie because everybody in New York had a bedtime. I feel like with New York, they was like young and turnt, but like everybody on New York got kids.
I just feel like Satou is trying to pull a Janiah and Nneka back in LA. They trying to do this whole. I think her and Nyara trying to play together. And if I'm New York, I'm absolutely protecting Nyara. Y'all won that championship because of her, for real. So I think it's possible, like to Reba's point, Satou trying to go where the sun is shining, where it's real bright. It's bright as hell in New York. So that might be the move.
Nyara need one of them 15-year baseball contracts. Because at this point, she really saved y'all from the craziest day of slander in WNBA history.
She did.
WNBA history. I was because y'all know about certain somebody. I was ready. I had my drafts ready.
You had to delete your draft, Reba?
It's still in there. So if next year, I can hit send on all of them because it still applies.
Delayed but not denied.
You're gonna have to move your drafts to Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. All right, y'all. I gotta pop off. Unfortunately, I got another show at 8:30, but it's been a lot of fun kicking it with you guys. And let me know when everything drops.
We will absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, Reba, we don't have much to talk about left anyway. We have the draft. We have to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Two scenarios. No, the college draft, the actual regular draft.
Okay.
Under the two scenarios of if they, I hate when this does this because I never know what I guess but it never does it consistently. If you are keeping your core, what type of player are you looking to draft, or if you have a specific name, and if you're starting over from scratch, what type of player are you looking for?
If we're keeping our core, I know we will not get her because she's going to be top 3. I want Olivia Miles to be, come in and get ready to be our point guard. We probably won't get her, but I could see a Raven Johnson. I know South Carolina fans are going to be mad at me. I think we can probably snag a Raven Johnson late in the second round.
See,
I think we can.
I think that's fair because we've talked about Raven Johnson before, and I wonder if the fact that teams don't see her as a shooter, if that kind of hurts her draft stock to an extent. So, like, I see Connecticut has pick 23, so that's back end of the second round. I'm not completely sure she falls that far, but I mean, once you get past the top 4 or 5, teams stop drafting based on how good a prospect is and more of how well does this player fit what we're trying to do. So there's a chance she could fall to Connecticut, and I wouldn't mind that pick.
And if we're being honest, I think she's probably a better fit if we keep our core than Olivia Miles. Depending on what we can get in free agency, we can get a couple shooters, we won't have to have Raven show up offensively immediately. So she will have time to develop and grow. With Olivia Miles, we could do the same thing, but we're definitely not getting her. She's going top 3 in my opinion. But I think Raven will fit better in the long run, because she'll give us what we need immediately. And that's running an offense and getting people to where they need to be. She can shoot. Like, of course, she's not, lighting it up right now, but if she puts up a shot, like, I'm not screaming at her, but I like her at the second round. And if we're keeping it a buck, I don't think Olivia Miles is the best shooter either. So, like,
No,
I'm not looking
not
for
consistently. I mean,
no.
yeah.
It's better this year, of course. She looks great this year, but yeah, previous years, she wasn't an effective shooter in my opinion. So one of those two, probably Raven Johnson. And I also think if Breezy does leave, I would like a Ayoka Lee from Kansas State. I would like her. I would like to go with another big because, like Terrika said, I forgot about Ono, which is crazy because I didn't think we used her enough during the season and especially during the playoffs. That's one player I would keep. So her and Dejanay Carrington are the two players I will keep and save from the expansion draft. But we're gonna need a backup, so I would like Ayoka Lee. I wouldn't say a hot take, but if Janiah Barker does want to come into the draft, I wouldn't mind Janiah Barker if she's playing like the way she is in UCLA. I don't want Texas A&M Janiah Barker.
We just talked about her yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Who did? I was gonna say, let me.
She's starting to look better in UCLA. Like she looks like she's starting to like actually play well and get comfortable.
Because to carry them. She had to carry Texas A&M. That's way too much pressure in SEC. Like, yeah, she's coming off the bench, getting straight to it. So, like, I like it. She looks way better. She looks happier too. Yeah. Her body language meaning. But the second part is like, if we break it up. If we break it up, I don't really care. Honestly, because I don't know what direction we would go. Like the direction we could go is like we can go for like more of an offensive like coach and player in the draft, but I don't know who we would get. So like, and honestly, I don't think we're like a defensive. Steph wasn't a defensive minded coach. It's just she was utilizing the skill sets her players had, and it was defense. She went to Indiana. So she can run the offense she can run. Like this is the offense she wants to run in Indiana. So like she was never a defensive minded coach. That was beginning in January. It was just a skill set of the players she currently had. So
what do you think about them coring AT and then coring AT to make a trade so they could potentially move up in the draft? Maybe, I mean, because Phoenix has 12, Minnesota has 11. I don't know.
If we're gonna move up, I'm trying
Dallas
to move
has
up
2.
top 5. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna move up, I need us to move up. Like 11. No, I don't know. We moving up. I want top 3. And the Sun are like a weird team. I won't say weird, like, but they like to, I guess, take care of their players more than other places do. Like they get a choice of where they want to go. Connecticut will figure out a way to get them there. I don't know any other team that is willing to do that to the detriment of their own team. Like we never should have got Beck Allen. We never should have got JJ where she wanted to go to Washington. We couldn't make it happen. So we gave her to New York. I don't think we should have got Natasha Howard in that trade. And Like we should have gotten Natasha Howard or maybe even Kayla Thornton in that trade. I didn't think we needed Ty Harris. Like we needed a point guard, but we needed a veteran point guard. If we were going to move away from Jasmine Thomas, we needed someone with a Jasmine Thomas skill set of running the offense. And then Ty Harris don't want to shoot. So like the best 3-point shooter on your team don't want to shoot. You're kind of wasting a roster spot, in my opinion. For Connecticut, like she doesn't work for Connecticut not wanting to shoot and wanting to be a floor general. I need you to shoot here. If you want to shoot, go back to Dallas, or if you don't want to shoot, go back to Dallas, go to Indiana where you have shooters around you where you can do that. You don't have that here. You're the shooter here.
I think I remember one of them games against the Lynx. She shot a good amount, and people were like, "Oh my God, she's shooting! We're so excited!" And then it just did not happen the game after that.
She stopped in the second half. She got her nice 15 points and said, "Screw it, I'm done for." Seattle, I think what game that we did win. There's a clip of her like doing like a pump fake, and you could just see Steph on the sideline, just like, what the heck is going on? Like, shoot it. Like, even in the press conference, like, Steph made a joke, like, she owes me $5 every time she passes up a shot. That's how many shots she was passing up, like wide open shots. So, like, and we just couldn't get her to do it. And it's the same thing that happened when Letitia Heidemann the year before. I don't know if they lost their confidence or what. They just stopped shooting when we needed them the most.
I wonder if in one of those scenarios, like let's say they blow it up, they core AT and try to move up. I feel like Washington they got pick 6, and they also got a pick in the lottery. I feel like you might be able to get 6 from them.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know who else, because the players that I think Connecticut need, they're leaving top 5. Like Olivia Miles, I think she's top 3 in my opinion. I don't think she's there. About time.
I don't know though. I think Olivia could fall to 5, not because she's not good, but because she isn't. I don't think she's gonna have as good of PR as an Anissa, or a lot of people are banking on Rory being good. And who else is up there? Kiki, she'd probably be a 3. AZ, depending on how she goes this season, people are gonna be looking at her. So I could see her. I can see her going in the top 10, but even late in the round, because too, I feel like some of these GMs, they be picking off vibes. Write one article about her not being a good shooter, and now she's your 16th. Yeah, that's
true. It could, but I only want to do it if it guarantees me what I want. Like, I'm not willing to take a chance, because
that's one of them. That's one of them moves you have to make on the day of the draft. Like while X team is on the clock, it's like, okay, this player is here. Let's go get this player.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I see there's a chance for Washington to get 4. So I don't think that would be bad either. Do
you think Washington would trade that pick?
They got rid of the first one, so I don't know. Maybe they
see. I was gonna say, the other thing, Washington don't have a GM, so ain't no telling what they gonna
see. Aaliyah Edwards gonna be the person to answer that phone when they call on draft night. So it's like you might be able to talk her into anything.
How bad do you want to play with AZ?
The second time you said Aaliyah Edwards is gone. Is that what? Why wouldn't you keep Aaliyah Edwards and Shakira?
No, I'm talking about her being the GM.
Oh, I thought somebody said earlier.
No, I said they sending Aaliyah Edwards to the draft lottery. Like, she's gonna be there.
Oh, okay.
I think you absolutely keep Aaliyah.
No, you have to. Yeah, her and Shakira. That's you in the process of rebuilding a core. and that's how you start your core.
The only
Absolutely.
the only reason why I could see them trading Shakira is because she's been hurt a lot in her first couple years, and they might be
And
scared of
you know
that.
what?
But that would be the only reason why.
If she wants to get healthy, go to Connecticut. They have them girls like healing like Wolverine over
That's
there.
true too.
Take 6 months there. She want to blow out a knee in Connecticut. She'll be available for the playoffs. Like, come on. We don't have much, but we have a nice training staff.
Alyssa
We
Thomas,
That's
don't
true
have
too.
much, but we
Alyssa
got that.
Thomas for pick six and Shakira Austin, or
They can
Alyssa
give me Melbourne too.
or
Now you
I would
just
like
being
Jay Moore.
greedy.
Like if they're gonna
being
But
greedy is
listen,
what you're
but
supposed
but
to
listen,
be.
if I'm gonna say if I'm trading away an all W first team talent, I need to be greedy with what I'm
yes,
getting in return.
Jay, what
absolutely.
was that? You remember that it was an NBA GM. He called another NBA GM on draft night. He was like yelling at him over the phone, and he basically got scared and made a trade. I don't remember what. Oh my goodness, I'm so
What? No,
sick.
I don't remember this.
I was like, they were saying like he was yelling at him to get him to make a trade, and he finally made the trade. And that's I just feel like that's what you got to do when you on draft night. It's like, bro, hurry up.
Mm-hmm.
Your pick about to come in. Just like, hurry up.
Yeah. We have to be greedy if we
You
want.
gotta scare him a little. That's
Uh,
what draft night is when you be greedy.
And I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
the enough with that. They need to put their nuts on the table, do something big on draft night. Like I want to hear BG getting traded on draft night. I want to hear big stuff. Like I need to hear big stuff like trades. I know BG, I think is a free agent, but like somebody trade Jewel somewhere. Jewel not happy in Seattle. Boom, get her out of
I
there. I
have
need
been.
names. Yeah, that's what I see. I need like big names traded on draft night, like they do in the NBA. And I need them to hear on Twitter, just like D'Lo found out he was traded from LA over. I need drama like that.
Hollering.
I need drama like that.
We need
I want
we
more
need more we need
rivalries.
more
I want
draft. Yeah. Yeah, we need more draft day drama. I want to see I want it to be like so and so all-star could be getting moved tonight. Like I know that's not
I
fun for
need
the
just
player, but I feel like in the W a lot of teams they try their cards close to their chest. They like, nah, we just hold on one more year, we can have a run in us. And it's just like sometimes you gotta be like, you know what, we're just gonna cut the cord right now.
bro, if I was working for the WNBA media draft night, I'm making up stuff. Just to make up stuff. Like could NECA be on her way to LA, back to LA? Could this man, I'm just making up stuff, making whoever is on that roster right now scared just because. Does this team need a point guard? Could da 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 could Scarlett be going to LA? This I'm making up stuff draft night. Could this team trade the number 2 pick? Like I'm making up stuff just to not be bored.
Just to give them something to talk about.
Yeah, give them something to talk about because we gotta wait till 8:30 to see for the draft, right? And they only inviting like 12 girls. So if the fashion's not fashion, you really don't got nothing to talk about, right? The outfit.
How did we lose her? Where she go?
I think we did.
I cannot figure out this trade that I'm talking about, and it's making me sad. I think it has something to do with James Harden. It was either James Harden to the Nets or James Harden to the Sixers. I feel like Daryl Morey was yelling at the GM of the Nets to try to get
Well,
him.
I was about to say it was Daryl Morey both times. So
I I feel like it was Daryl Morey though.
because Daryl Morey was with the Rockets when he went to the Nets, and then Daryl Morey was with the Sixers when he got him back. So
Bro, oh, I'm so sick.
hearts and minds are clear, but what do we do now?
No. This has been
Hearts
extremely
and minds
chaotic.
did not appear to be clear.
This is extremely chaotic.
Zoom said it was clear.
Well,
R.I.P. Reba.
I guess we're good.
Oh, we giving her
All right, I guess hearts and minds. I guess hearts and minds are clear then.
Well, thank you to our lovely guest. We would thank them formally another period of time. But yeah, this has been another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don.
I'm Janae.
And I'm Jay Trent.
And we are out.